If you, like me, are troubled by the injustices in the world, I want to give you a sense of hope, a sense of purpose and belief that we can do better. To do that, I want to give you a historian's view of how this can work, because I see a lot of righteous rage, of anger, of outpourings of empathy around issues like the situation in Palestine today. And the problem here is that a lot of this relies on techniques that will already preach to the converted, that will reach people that already have those views or are adjacent to them. It's not going to cut through to other people. And the key there is a reliance on a lot of the newer technologies that we have. With this phone here, I can talk to people all around the world. But making a video like this is not going to change the mind of somebody who fundamentally disagrees with me, that has a different moral or emotional sensibility on these issues. The key here is that on a question like the Israel situation, the Palestine situation, this is something that touches on people's sense of identity, who they feel that they are, on an emotional sense of self. And that's not going to change unless you can make it real for them in a sense, unless you can humanize the situation, unless you can make people really feel that. And that requires a human touch. It requires direct personal connection. So the key here is to look at how organizing has happened in the past, the places and ways that it has always worked before. It has to start small. It can start within a particular affinity group, people who already agree with you. Great. Bring them together. But instead of chatting in a Discord group or in comments on a TikTok or something, actually get together physically and make a plan. Organize, and organize in a classic sense of, here is our plan to reach more people, to get out there. You have to come up with the right kind of tools, techniques, and rhetoric to actually convince other people. As your group grows, you'll be able to engage in direct action. Direct action is, well, civil disobedience stuff, sitting on freeways, things like that. The kinds of nonviolent protest techniques that have worked tons and tons of time in other situations. Those actions will get attention, because you'll affect the way that money circulates. Once you have that attention, you have to have somebody prepared to speak and to articulate the demands of the movement. In doing that, those demands have to be framed in a way that will make sense to the unconverted. If it's done in a way that makes sense only to people who already have those sympathies, you've already lost. You lose the benefit from the civil disobedience in the first place. So there is a really big framing component to this, getting the rhetoric right, getting the right kind of emotional appeal that will touch the people that you need to reach. But you have to organize first, get those groups together, get those numbers up, and in person, not just on the internet. Get hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of people in networks all together, and then coordinate activities. On this day, we will all sit down and do this thing. And when that happens and the economy slows down and people turn their gaze to you and wonder, why are you doing this? Then you have to have people willing to stand up and speak directly and from the heart in a way that actually reaches people that have a completely different sense of self, a way that gets through their sense of identity and makes it real for them. So there's a lot to this, but ultimately it comes down to how we organize. And the key there is to get over the sense of learned helplessness we have, the sense of individual powerlessness. What can I do to bring peace to the world? How can I solve this great big international problem? I can't. So I'm going to talk to other people online and share my frustrations, and we all together will all be mad, and we'll all at the end of the day think, but what can we do? Well, the problem is we're not thinking as a group. We need to get past our individual powerlessness and remember our collective power. Large groups of people working together with a plan can change anything. History is a great teacher there. It can show us how organized groups of people have again and again challenged seemingly insurmountable problems and changed everything. But you have to organize an old-fashioned way. You have to actually get to people and talk and build those human connections, build those networks, engage in those actions, and have somebody ready to speak in a way that actually works for people. Together, we are powerful. On our own, where they want us to be, we're not. And we're using the internet in ways that actually keep us powerless. We need to use it in a way that actually expands our power in the real world outside of the internet and lets us affect that change in the real world. Cool. There's my little talk for the night. Catch y'all later.